Hello, hello, hello. My name is Quinn. My pronouns are they, them, and welcome to my channel, Lucid Moons. Yay, I'm filming a VR. This VR is to Sylvie at Tarot Magpie, one of my fave channels. Absolutely love everything that Sylvie puts out on their channel, so shout out to them. And I'm really excited to be filming this one. So I'm going to be showing a deck or maybe a couple decks for each one of these different romance tropes that you might see in books or movies or media of any kind. I'm not a huge romance person, but I can be depending on what it is and like how gay it is. So with that being said, let's jump right in. So the very first prompt is enemies to lovers. A deck, style, or system you insisted wasn't for you until you realized it was. Yes. This one was a little tricky for me, but I decided to go with plant slash botanical decks. So I have two decks to show. I have the Magical Botanical Oracle and the A Little Rain Oracle. And these are really gorgeous plant decks. And I'm pretty sure this one right here, the Magical Botanical, was the first plant deck I ever got. And to be honest, I just thought the art looked really cool. That's why I got it. It wasn't really for the plants because I was kind of like, ooh, I don't really get plant energy. I don't know anything about it. Like, I don't really understand it. I was very much like a animal deck person. I'm very well informed about animals and I'm able to read that energy very like intuitively. I'm able to like look at animals and get messages from them and understand like, you know, what they can represent and things like that without, you know, looking at the guidebook or anything like that. And with plants, I'm definitely not like that. With plants, I really know very little. And I was like, oh, it's just not for me. But I think over time I've realized like, no, like plants are the same as animals. They do have like really interesting facts about them. They do have meanings. They can symbolize a lot of really cool things and you can get really amazing messages for them. So I'm in the process of learning. I've, you know, rehomed my Botanica tarot just because even though I love the art, it didn't really work for me in terms of like learning about plants. It wasn't really beginner friendly. I think both of these decks they're both oracles first of all, which I think works well for me in the plant realm for now. And they have like a wealth of information in their guidebooks. And so I think it's working for me in terms of like slowly dipping my toes in and starting to work with these different plant energies. Now I'm working with the A Little Rain Oracle right now and I'm loving it. I absolutely love this art style. It's pairing with a lot of my decks for June really beautifully. And the guidebook is written in a way that's really loving, supportive, and also easy to understand. I'm not really like studying these things. Like I'm not taking notes on the plants. I'm just kind of going with it. I'm just kind of vibing it out and seeing what, you know, what messages I get. And that's good enough for me. All right. So that is the Magical Botanical Oracle, which is mass market, and the A Little Rain Oracle, which is an indie deck. The next prompt is friends to lovers. So this is a deck you used to like well enough and then one reading deepened or changed your relationship with it. This one was so easy for me without any question. This was the Smoke, Ash, and Embers Tarot by Three Trees Tarot. Now, I bought the Oak, Ash, and Thorn and Smoke, Ash, and Embers together. I almost didn't even buy the Smoke, Ash, and Embers at the same time because I was like, you know, I like dragons, but like, I don't know. I think the other deck is going to be my favorite. I think I'm going to use that other one more, the Oak, Ash, and Thorn, I mean. Like, that one is the one that's calling to me. It seems really my style. But I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's get them both in here and check them out, because I just love the art style of Adam Ohlers, and I just love everything about these decks. And I ended up working with this deck, I want to say towards in fall of last year. I used it in spring this year, which I thought was really fun. But I ended up doing a reading for myself with this deck that completely blew my socks off, okay? It, first of all, fucked me up. It read me for filth. It, showed me so many things about myself that I knew to be true, but that I was avoiding or not wanting to face. And it also gave me advice and messages that I just really, really needed to hear in that moment, of things that I needed to work on. And it was truly beautiful. It made me cry. And I love these dragons. I think they're so cute. They're so endearing. Some of them are serious, but a lot of them are just adorable and funny. And basically this deck has range, is what I'm trying to say. And that one rating definitely changed my relationship with this deck. I love Oak, Ash, and Thorn, don't get me wrong, but this is the one that I actually feel the most connected to. And the dragon was my animal of the year last year in 2023, and now I'm a dragon person because I don't know, I got really into dragons last year. So yeah, this deck is really special. It's one of my favorites of all time. Look how cute this is. And I'm just absolutely obsessed with everything that Three Trees Tarot puts out. I haven't ordered their newest deck yet, the Heartwood, I want to say, but it's definitely on my list, because I think that their decks are just absolutely brilliant. The next prompt is Forced Proximity. A deck you used for a month, took on holiday, made yourself work with for a while, that changed your relationship with it. Now, I try to cycle through all of my decks throughout the year, so it could really be any deck that's newer to my collection that I save for a certain season or a certain month. But I actually thought of a little bit of a different situation for this one. So this is the Faceted Garden Oracle by Claire. Oops, the thing's on backwards. Claire Mack, yes. This is a gorgeous oracle deck. I picked it up for a very reasonable price secondhand. I love the rainbow hollow edging, one of my favorites. I was really glad that I found this secondhand because I was unsure about it. I was unsure if this would really be my thing. But I actually ended up bringing this deck to work with me and using it once a day exclusively at my workplace. And I really felt like that little time period helped me connect with it a lot and helped me understand it. Nowadays, I tend to just keep one deck at my work, a tarot deck. So I've been just using my Aquarian tarot, which is my oldest deck, and I tend to just keep that at my job. I feel like that deck does really great for work related readings because it's kind of I don't mean this in a mean way, but it's kind of expressionless. I'm sure most of you guys know what deck I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm sorry, but it's a very, very common deck. So just look up Aquarian Tarot. And that just works for me having a really straightforward, easy, RWS clone essentially that's not overly emotional. But I did actually, reflecting, I did really enjoy when I would sometimes bring other decks to work. And this is a perfect example of how it helped me kind of build a deeper connection and understand this deck more. Claire Mack's art is absolutely stunning. It is so unique. It's so distinctive to her. The thing is, this deck kind of has keywords or it doesn't have keywords. It has titles like pollinator on most of the cards. And the guidebook is just a tiny little white book with a couple a phrase, a sentence or two about each one. So I wasn't sure if that was going to work for me, but I actually have grown to appreciate it because you can just read that little snippet and kind of get the gist, and then it leaves a lot of room for intuition and your own interpretations. And I just absolutely love the vibes of this deck. It's so freaking stunning. So this was definitely one that working with it at my job for a month or two helped me build a deeper connection with. So number 4 is Soulmates, which is a deck you fell in love with immediately. Now, there's quite a few decks that I could put in this section. I probably have a list of about 20 I could, maybe even more that I could put here. But I just decided to grab one that is just one of my top decks of all time, and it's just very me. And I'm sorry, it's out of print, but this is the Lubanco Tarot by E. Lubanco, and it's just such an incredible deck, and it is not available currently. Who knows, maybe it'll get printed again, maybe it'll finally get picked up. I know E. Lubanco does not want to change their images or censor them in any way, and I guess a lot of publishers don't want to publish this deck as is, and I respect that a lot. But this deck just feels like me. It's queer, it's moody, it's dark, it's emotionally in tune. It has a different way of looking at tarot and looking at the world, and it's sexy and it's sensual and it's beautiful. And I'm so glad that I was able to snag this while it was still available, because this is one of my favorite lovers cards ever. It's just so amazing. This is a deck that I love reading with, because it's going to put a completely different spin on not all, but some of the cards. It's going to show the more shadow side or a darker side of that card meaning and how it might manifest in your life. Like I said, not all of the cards are like that, but some of them definitely are. And it's just a beautiful work of queer art, in my opinion. I think that this art style is so incredible. It has elements that are very kind of sketchy and raw and, unpolished. Not that that's a bad thing. And then it combines with this just absolutely stunning, artistry that is incredibly polished. I love this devil card as well. So beautiful. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of this deck. It was an immediate, soul connection deck, and it was an immediate, just understanding of this is a deck for me. And this is a deck that's going to be with me forever. No questions about it. So that is the Lubanco Tarot. The next prompt is Slow Burn, a deck you didn't have the best first impression of, but the more you worked with it, the more you liked it. And I chose the Moon Power Tarot. This one was a little tricky. I kept changing my mind on this one. I chose the Moon Power Tarot by Six Sad Girls. And to be honest, it's not that I had a bad impression of this deck or anything like that. It's been on my radar. All of the decks of this artist have been on my radar for a while, and I just didn't know which one to get. And I was so lucky that I won an Instagram giveaway directly from the artist, and I won all 4 of their current decks that are in print, which was just amazing because they're so unique. I didn't know which one to choose, and I didn't know which one I was gonna like the best, or which one would work for me. And I got all 4 of them, and I think they're all amazing in their own way. But this is the one that I thought I would like the least. I don't know what it is about it. I guess maybe it's the art is a little more pared down. I don't know. I'm definitely a moon child, so it makes sense that this one would be a good fit for me. So Star Power and Mars Power are very busy and very psychedelic, and I thought those ones were gonna be my faves. And then the Jupiter power is like even more pared down, but it was interesting. And I've only worked with this one in star power so far, but just based off of that and kind of my first impressions, like checking out all 4 decks, this one is actually my favorite one. And I think this feels the most authentic to my genuine, like, teenage self. It really feels like something I would have absolutely loved when I was a teenager, like literal teenager, like 13 through like 18 or 19 years old. It really speaks to that part of myself, and it's giving like sci-fi, it's giving teen angst, it's giving queerness, and I love it. I think it's really beautiful, and it pairs so well with so many decks. That's another thing I have to say that I think kind of swayed me is it ended up pairing like a dream with like pretty much every deck I stuck it with, which is amazing. So I'm really a fan of this one so far. Also, can we just talk about this? This is amazing for a Chariot card. So this is the Moon Power Tarot by Six Sad Girls. The next prompt is Opposites Attract. So a deck that's not your usual style, but you love it anyways. And I went with the Dark Goddess Tarot. And, whoa, what's going on here? I have a couple cards separated out. This is the mass market version with the atrocious cardstock. I think this art style, when I first saw it, I was like, ew, no, like I don't vibe with this. But something about it, you know, I think just the topic of dark goddesses in itself is such a cool idea for a deck. And it really intrigued me. And I also saw, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I saw a lot of people online like raving about this deck. And, you know, once it went mass market, I was like, you know what, let's try it out, why not? And, you know, I've grown to really love it. It's not my top choice in terms of the artwork, but I think that this creator did an amazing job of representing these goddesses from around the world in a respectful way and writing about them in a way that honors them as best as you can when you're doing a deck of 78 different goddesses from different cultures. You know, it's hard to really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to give the complete picture of every single one. But I do think that this is a great deck. I use it exclusively for a monthly practice where I draw a goddess card each month on the dark moon. And this goddess will kind of stay with me on my altar throughout the month, and I'll maybe reflect about it in my journal a little bit, or reflect about her in my journal. And it's just been really cool. It's been a way for me to incorporate a little bit of like goddess work into my practice. That's not really something I'm super into, but it's just like I like to dabble and I like to learn. And so it's been a good way for me to educate myself about some of these goddesses that I didn't know about before, which is most of them actually. And I just think that, you know, it works. It weirdly works. So yeah, I've learned to really love it, and sometimes it's good to challenge yourself a little bit and question why you don't like a certain art style. You know, are you being a little bit of an art snob? I think I was in a way, and also sometimes it's like we just have different preferences as well, right? It's super subjective. So I think it's good to push yourself a little bit and sometimes get decks or expose yourself to art that may not be your typical thing. Love this for the Five of Water, La Llorona. So yeah, this is the Dark Goddess Tarot. So the next prompt is Blind Date, which was an impulse buy, a gift, or a deck you got without much research, but you ended up loving. For me, this is without a doubt the Zeke's Arcana. And I got this deck a few years back when it was brand new, and it was definitely an impulse. Like, probably not the best financial decision at the time, and not a lot of research. I had seen it online on TarotTube, but like, I think Katie Flowers had a video, but it wasn't even complete yet. Like, there was just placeholders for some of the cards. But I just saw like, I just saw the vibes, and I was like, yes, give it to me. I think I had missed the Kickstarter, but I was able to reach out to the creator and do an invoice for a pre-order so that I got them around the same time all the Kickstarter folks got theirs. And like, this is a great example. When I first got it, I was like, oh shit, like this is kind of a pip deck. And I've come around to pips a lot since then. Like, this was definitely a few years ago, and this deck is definitely not like the pippiest deck of all. It's definitely pips with feeling. And some of them actually are illustrated. But I was like, you know, at the time I was kind of like, oh shit, like I spent a lot of money on this deck. I didn't realize a lot of the cards were like pippy. I kind of felt stupid. But I've come around because, like, first of all, this is my vibe. Like, it's like pink, bubblegum, femme, like the color palette I love. It's psychedelic, it's fantasy, it's sci-fi. It's so cool. And obviously with time, I've know tarot a lot better now. I'm able to read pips much easier. I'm still learning about, you know, like numerological pips, but this one definitely has a lot of calls to the RWS in the pips. I love this Lover's card. This is stunning. And I just love this deck because it transports me to this crazy pink and purple and blue and turquoise world where I want to live. So I've come around to it, but it definitely was kind of a lesson for me in like, okay, you know, it's okay to wait sometimes and see, like, you don't have to rush. You can wait and see the full deck, make sure all the cards have been created, and look at them carefully before you just like impulse hit, add to cart, and buy. Because that's definitely what happened here. And I did feel, I'm not gonna lie, I did feel a little bit guilty about it. But I no longer feel that way because it's a great deck. It's a really beautiful and special work of art. So that is the Zeke's Arcana. The next prompt is second chance. So a deck you plan to get rid of or that worked its way back into rotation. Sorry, a deck you plan to get rid of that worked its way back into rotation, or a deck you did move along but ended up repurchasing. Now, I only have 2 decks that I think I've ever repurchased that I actually got rid of, and it's the Tarot of the Cat People and the Star Spinner Tarot. And I tend to normally not repurchase decks that I rehome. Like, I like to really think long and hard about rehoming decks, and I usually don't feel a desire. But in both of these cases, it's not that I really had a problem with the deck, it's that I wanted to give it to a friend because I did really like it and I just wasn't using it a ton, and I was like, you know, my friend can have this. And I knew that they were both really affordable mass market decks. So Tarot of the Cat People, I definitely wanted to repurchase, especially I heard rumors, I don't think they were true, but I heard rumors, I love these backs, that this deck was going to go out of print. And I was like, okay, well, we need to get her because I do love this deck. And I remember seeing this deck like when I was a kid, like in stores and metaphysical stores and stuff. And I thought it was really cool. But I didn't get it till obviously my adult life. And then the Star Spinner is just also super cute, super adorable. It's not a deck that I use a ton, but I do work it through my rotation each year. And let's see. And it's done by a queer, I believe Vietnamese American artist, Trungles, who is just so sweet. And I love his art style. Also this one, Carol Kendall. Maybe if she's still alive, I don't know the story, but she was like based out of where I live in Tucson, Arizona, and this feels like old Tucson hippie from the 70s who loves cats, like cat lady. So yeah, I love both of these decks. I definitely wanted to repurchase them. I don't think either of them is like a favorite or a deck that I like use constantly, but they're decks that I enjoy having because I love the artwork and I think they're beautiful in their own way. The copy of the Tarot of the Cat People that I did give to a friend was cool though, because it was really used and like worn and old. I had got it on Amazon like that. I like to buy used decks a lot when I can, not only because it saves money, but because you know, it's just like environmentally more conscious, like taking something that someone else no longer needs rather than getting a new one, right? But when I went to repurchase it, they didn't have like a used one available, so I ended up just getting a new copy. But I just love this world that the artist has created here, this like 70s sci-fi planet where cats rule everything. I think it was really beyond its time in like terms of diversity, and this deck is just absolutely adorable. It's based on fairy tales and it's just so sweet and so cute. I wish the guidebook actually told you about the fairy tales, which it doesn't, but it's okay. You can use your imagination or do a little bit of research. I know there's a couple tarot tuber videos out there that discuss the tales. Here, I think the Boy Diviner has a really good one back in his archive somewhere. But yeah, so these are both really cute decks. They're both really unique, and I'm glad that I, you know, brought them back into my collection. So that is Tarot of the Cat People and the Star Spinner Tarot. The next prompt, number 9, is Unrequited Love. A deck you really want to love this deck, but it doesn't love you back. ... Yet. I chose, this one was a little tricky for me because I don't have a lot of decks like this. I ended up choosing the Tarot of the Divine because I do want to love this deck so badly. Look at this beautiful backs. I did edge it. It's been a while. I think it's kind of come off a little bit, but it is one of my best edgings I've ever done, and I'm not, that's saying a lot because I'm not very good at it. Like, this is stunning. This is gorgeous. I love this artwork. I love the premise. Here's La Llorona showing up for us again. I love Yoshitani's artwork. I just don't like using this deck. I don't know what it is. It also was a gift from a really good friend that is no longer living anywhere near me. And so, like, there's that sentimental value to this. And so she's staying around, but I struggle. I struggle to force myself to use this deck. It doesn't pair with anything that I have. Let me know if you pair it with any decks down below in the comments. Because sometimes that really helps me if like I'm not really connecting with the deck. Sometimes I like pair it with something and it's like a perfect little pair and I love it. But this is like not doing that with anything, and it doesn't really match anything. I don't know why. Like, it has a gorgeous color palette, but I think it's just really unique in the color palette maybe. So I don't know what to do with this deck. It's always kind of in purgatory. Like, I don't have like a purgatory box or anything, but it's always kind of like, should I keep this? It's kind of taking up space and I don't really enjoy using it, but like the art is so beautiful. I love this artwork and I love the premise, and my friend gave it to me, so it's just, I can't let it go right now. It's really beautiful. It's gonna stay, but I just have to figure out like how I'm gonna work with this and what to do with it, you know what I mean? So that is the Tarot of the Divine by Yoshitani. Okay, the last prompt is Love Triangle. 2 decks in competition with each other, or 2 decks you always pair together. I'm going to show you, this is a new, I love pairing decks if you don't know that about me, but this is a new pairing and I think it's really cute and I think it's going to be, I'm going to use this next month in July with all my ocean decks. I'm so excited. So I have the Wisdom of the Depths Tarot by Lynn Thurman. Okay. Which is a gorgeous ocean collage deck. And then I have, I'm not even gonna fucking try to pronounce this in French because it's gonna be horrible, but I have the Oracle of Dolphins and Whales by, oh god. Does it have an author on here? Okay, it says Frédéric Pichard. I know there's others too that I have written down somewhere, but that's okay. Look at these backs. I love these backs. Like, just take a moment. It's got silver. Did I show these backs? I don't know. We'll look at them again really quick. These are really cute too. I love octopuses. This is just such a cute, like, soft and gentle oceanic pairing. And this oracle I saw on Marine's channel from The Waves of Your Soul. It's a French deck. I have to use the Google Translate app on my phone to work with it, which, you know, can be a little bit annoying, but it's not like the guidebook is super crazy long. And if you're like me and you just love animal energy, you can kind of, you know, for the most part, figure out what animal is on each card because it just has the title of the animal or whatever the thing is on the card. So if you want to kind of like do an intuitive read on it, it's not too bad. But this is just so fun. I have a little ocean / beach / mermaid deck collection that I'm growing. And this is just a really cute pair that I'm really excited about using next month. What a perfect summer vibe. It's making me sad though because I want to go back to the ocean. I was there a couple weeks back at the end of May and it was so nice, but unfortunately I was in San Diego, California. Unfortunately, I like ran out into the ocean and I was like with some of my students. I was there for work and we were like loving it, like, oh my god, this is amazing. I was like feeling my oats. I was like feeling the ocean breeze. And then all of a sudden, you guys, I heard an intercom from the beach being like, attention, the water is contaminated with unsafe levels of bacteria. We do not recommend you swim. And I was like, what the fuck? And so, yeah, unfortunately, it's really sad. Just across the border in Tijuana, Mexico, they just dump untreated sewage into the ocean there, which then, you know, depending on the currents, flows upwards towards some of the beaches in San Diego. And I didn't know that, and I was like literally swimming in the water. I didn't put my head under, luckily, but some of the students did. So, yeah, I didn't really get the full ocean experience that I wanted and needed. It got ruined by the poo-poo caca water, which was really sad. Wow, look at this. This is so beautiful. So yeah, I need another ocean trip that does not involve contaminated ocean water. And when I think about that, it just makes me so sad for all of the animals and the plant life and just all of the living creatures in the ocean that are literally swimming in sewage water. Like, and the environmental impact of that is just so sad to me. We need to protect our oceans and all animals on this planet, and that should be like the #1 priority of humanity, in my opinion. But of course, with our current systems, it's like nobody really cares. Nobody really does anything to try to save these beautiful animals and their habitats. And it's, yeah, not to take it to a dark place. I totally went there. But anyways, I've been on this one for a while. I'm rambling. That is the Wisdom of the Depths Tarot and the Oracle of Dolphins and Whales. What a beautiful and perfect oceany pairing. I can't wait to use it next month. So thank you for watching. Thank you to Sylvie for creating this tag. It was so much fun to do. I'm so glad I finally got on to film it. If you're still here, definitely give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. And no matter who you are and no matter where you are, I hope the rest of your day is filled with so much magic and so much joy. Bye bye.